Transphobia is rising in the UK. Hate crimes are increasing every year.
Understand that gender dysphoria is a very, very serious and upsetting thing, but they cannot actually be women.
And it's because we
And I
are
know that a woman
identity politics
is a woman.
On
that
both the
we
left
can
and the right
take
sides of
on
the
and
political
stand up
spectrum
to
argue that
this
trans
woke
rights are a
nonsense.
threat to women's rights.
It was kind of a lonely time, very like kind of isolated.
I think it's monstrous. You know, the rates of suicide amongst trans teens is horrendous, and what people expressing who they are.
It was just like a sort of I never talked to any like teachers or anything about it, but there was like a whole sort of thing of like everyone's like, no, that's stupid, like that just doesn't happen to anyone here.
The way that British society views anything as different, it's always been like, I mean, this is a Japanese saying, but the nail that that sticks out the most is the one to be hammered down the hardest, isn't it? So it's like, you know, anything that we're not comfortable with or used to, we need to eradicate and eliminate, because that informs our sensibilities. Who's that for you to decide? People's bodies? Because we did that with women in the 60s, and everyone's like, oh no, these issues aren't interconnected. They are. Everything's connected. If you're not here for trans people, you're not here for even cis women, you know, the people that you claim to protect. It's not, no, it's not. And it's a lie. It's a lie that they tell themselves to keep themselves, you know, comfortable at night. You know, that's it.
So seek validation through other means than the government, because they won't be on your side in the end.
Removing like the kind of like legal protections, especially when hate crimes against transgender and the entire like queer community are rising to like an all-time high, probably since like the 80s.
I don't need something to validate what I am. I just am what I am. I don't need some sort of like bureaucratic bullshit telling me otherwise. But I understand it could be affirming for people. So like, I feel like it's great to have that freedom for other people to be like, look, I am like this gender.
I don't like need the government to validate how I feel about myself. Like, and to be honest, I'd rather the government stay out of my business, full stop. Just like for my safety as well. Like, I don't need like to be showing my ID to like a police officer and then knowing like, oh, here's a victim, you know.
Yeah, there's freedom in it, but there's also kind of like, there's danger in it.
I think there's a little bit of hope that people won't stand for it.
I think the kids are the way forward, definitely. Queer kids all the way. Yeah. So I have hope. I do, very much so.
There was a trans radiologist from the 20s called Alan L. Hart, very famously like developed treatment that saved thousands of people from tuberculosis. But in his spare time when he wasn't like saving people, he wrote like trans literature. And I think he has a quote, I can't remember it specifically, says, "We are all given a like lump of clay to work with and to do with what we want." And I don't know, I think that like transcends like trans issues and stuff. Like, your body is your own and you have to exert your autonomy over it. You mustn't let other people tell you what you can do with your body, because freedom is such a fleeting thing. But at the end of the day, like, no one else can make me do this with my hands, you know, no one can say what happens to this body other than me.